Hi all, I'm Justin from Gallant IAS Academy. So this is our main session. UPSC Civil Service examination. The mains will happen from the September 20th, and aspirants giving mains this year or next year, you should be well versed with the core areas and themes of GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming to GS1, we know that there is a history and culture, and there are some recurring themes in the history and culture. You should be well versed with that recurring themes of history and culture, because if you check the last 10 years questions, you could see that the same topics are repeated, same questions are repeated, same themes are repeated, or the core themes are frequently occurred. So the important part is, based on this PYQ analysis, there are some core areas, be it history or be it culture or geography or society, that areas or those areas or themes shouldn't be skipped, that must be revised very well. Coming to this, yes, today's focus is, we are on that art and culture part, and the recurring themes. Recurring themes, So this is based on the last 10 years, 10 or 14 years analysis. Okay. So especially recurring themes, have an idea. We will cover multiple topics here, multiple themes from this art and culture exclusively for this mains GS1, and every topic in 10-15 points we will, wind up. Okay. That way we will cover maximum topics. So you stay tuned and to watch this series till the end. Okay. So here, starting with the first one. The first one is, this is a favorite topic of UPSC. Please try to understand. UPSC on a regular or at a regular intervals, they ask about this, this indigenous and foreign accounts about, yes, ancient India, society, culture, religion, etc. So you can expect a question like this. Yeah. These foreign travelers accounts, or how they describe the cultural developments or the society or the position of the women or the status of Buddhism, Chinism, or India's relations with other part of the world, how these things are described by the foreigners. Okay, many foreigners visited India, Chinese Buddhist pilgrims like Fahin, Huansang, Itzing, etc. Megasthenes is there. So there are lots of foreigners who travel to India, or they made accounts about India's socio-political, cultural, religious aspects. So this is a favorite area for UPSC, especially in the mains part. Have an idea what are the common observations made by these foreign travelers to India regarding Indian society, culture, economy, religion, etc. So some points I'm sharing here. Yeah, we know that Megasthenes Indica. Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya, and he observed this like a political system, economic system, social system, or class divisions, etc. about Indian society. So Megasthenes Indica, that is one of the earliest foreign accounts which talk about India's Mauryan polity, economy, religion, culture, etc. Okay. So there some misleading informations are also there, because Megasthenes says usually was absent here, slavery was absent here, and he couldn't find that fourfold Varna divisions here. Instead, he talk about that seven division of the society and says slavery is absent or usually is absent. But these things are all already established here. That was discussed in Kaudilya's Arthashastra also. So say Ptolemy's geography. This is again another account which give you information regarding Indian ports, harbors, and India's trade with this Roman Empire. Okay, trade relations with this Roman Empire. Then see Fahin is a Chinese Buddhist pilgrim. In the 5th century AD, or it is Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya's time, he visited India, and he talks about the peacefulness of the society, or maybe the governance was superb. And see, there are no serious crimes, no death penalties. Okay, so those things he said. And Fahin stated, yes, the major source of income for the government was, it was revenues, it was taxes, and said majority population engaged in agriculture. Then Huansang, we know he is a Chinese Buddhist pilgrim, visited India in the 7th century AD. That was during the time of Harshavardhana, and his observations about this, like crimes and people's like what is called these divisions, caste divisions, marriage institutions, different things he said. Okay, both said that main source of income, or most of the people are engaged in this, agriculture. Okay, And also he talks about the division of the society, like the untouchables, higher caste, and their food habits, dress habits. These are discussed in Fahin's accounts also. Then, if you go through these ancient and medieval travelers, foreign travelers, let's see that they talk about this, political power situation. For example, Huan Sang talks about that, yeah, Harshavardhana, yes, the emperor of the North India was defeated by the emperor of the South India, or Chalukya ruler, Pulakeshi II defeated Harshavardhana. Okay, that is discussed. And yes, financial conditions. Megasthenes Indica talk about that, India was so rich. India was so rich that, to get to be attacked by the foreigners. So the wealth of the nation, or this richness of the nation, it attracted the foreign invaders to invade India. Then see social life. They also talk about the social life. For example, Alberoni's accounts tell about this. Indians do not like these Muslim invasions. Okay, and the practices. Even Batuta talks about this river Ganga. It is a holy river, and it is so pure. It didn't get spoiled even. Yes, in 3 to 4 months. Then they talk about the daily life. They talk about the trade routes, wars, victories, architecture, art, culture. Okay, building these different structures. So these things are discussed in these foreigners' accounts. Okay, so have an idea. And when you cover the further themes, we will see in particular. For example, foreign travelers to Gupta's age, foreign travelers to Vijayanagar age, foreign travelers to Mauryan Empire, foreign travelers to this what is called like Delhi Sultanate, Mughal Empire. In particular, we will discuss, but these are common observations by these foreigners. Okay, similar way. Yes, this theme is also very important. You should have an idea. These literary sources. UPSC asks this comparison of the literary sources. Sometimes it can be like this: Vedic sources versus Sangam literature. Compare and contrast. Okay. Or sometimes they can ask a question like this: how this particular literature, for example, Arthashastra talk about this, socio-economic, political aspects of this Mauryan life. That way they can ask a question. Or the question can be like this: for example, yeah, this Kalidasa's works, how it portray the society of this Gupta age. Okay. Similar way, you can expect, or maybe how this ancient literary, I mean, indigenous and foreign sources, religious and secular sources, how they are helpful in understanding this, social life of ancient India or cultural life of ancient India. That way, you can expect a question. The status of the women, how it is discussed in the literature. For example, okay, yes, Rig Veda that talks about the better status of the women. Women hymn composers are there. Women participated in the tribal assembly, Sabha Vidada, etc. Then women participated in the rituals along with the husbands. Okay, she go to the right to education. So such things are discussed in this Rig Veda. Okay, Rig Vedic hymns talks about better status of the women. Post-Vedic, talks about the degraded status of the women. Then see, Arthashastra says women are employed as the spies and as the royal bodyguards in the royal palaces. Then they had a limited property rights, no education rights. Then there is possibility of widow remarriage was restricted, prostitution was legalized, taxed. These are conditions in the later Vedic times. Then Manusmriti says, or Manusmriti equates the status of the women to Shudras. Okay, so again you can see that yes, that degrading status of the women. No right to education, child marriage was practiced, widowhood was practiced, no property rights, and no political participation. And it's all because of the patriarchal mindset of the people. So that's a favorite area, recurring theme. The literary sources are given, or maybe they can ask a question like, according to this particular literary source, indigenous or foreign accounts, how the position of the women is, picturized, portrayed, or how the social status or how the cultural developments are, discussed. So you just have an idea. Vedic literature is there, Arthashastra is, Mauryan literature is there, or Sangam literature is there, or maybe these Kalidasa's works are there, or foreign accounts are there, or medieval literature is there. So, or religious literature is there, how they reflect the position of the women, the status of the society, the status of the religion, or this changing nature of the Buddhism, Jainism. Okay, and this what is called the technological advancements that was recently asked. So technological advancements in these ancient medieval times, according to literary sources. So those questions are a favorite area for UPSC. Now coming to this, there is another possible question, because they already asked about prehistoric paintings, and they asked about this prehistoric like Mesolithic culture. They already asked questions from this area. You can expect a question, yes, because recently in the news you might have seen that there are lots of articles related to this, archaeological findings from these prehistoric sites. Okay, so there is Neolithic settlement. Prehistoric means Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and Chalcolithic. So Neolithic settlement. The question is why this Neolithic age is called an age of revolution. Okay, or how this Neolithic culture or Neolithic life is portrayed from archaeological evidences. Archaeological evidences. Okay, so have an idea. Yes, first of all, you should know that is Neolithic settlements. You know the major Neolithic settlements in India: Bolan Valley, Kashmir Valley, Brahmaputra Valley, Peninsular India. These are some very popular Neolithic settlements in India. Okay, so you can just in the introduction you can say about the timeline of the Neolithic age and about the popular settlements, Neolithic settlements in India. Then you can talk about this. You know, yes, what are the revolutionary features of Neolithic age or how the archaeological evidences, you know, yes, they portray this advancement of Neolithic age. Okay, so coming to these sophisticated microliths, grinding stones, blades, you see, all these reflect that there, you know, advancement in tool technologies, tool making technologies, and also their food processing technologies. Okay, then another archaeological evidence is mud brick huts and stone pit dwellings. There is a series of in the Neolithic settlements. We could see there is mud brick huts, you know, mud brick house and this stone pit dwelling, cluster of mud brick houses and these stone pit dwellings, especially in Kashmir side, it is dwelling. So these are indicating, you know, yes, emergence of village life, emergence of village life. Then say discovery of huge ash mounds in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. They reflect that these people were highly into that cattle rearing part, cattle rearing. That was their major occupation than agriculture. That is why there is a huge ash mounds. Ash mounds, you know, that is these remains of these cow dungs. Okay, these heaps of these cow dungs. So you see huge ash mounds in Karnataka, Andhra that reflect that their major occupation was, you know, yes, that was animal husbandry than agriculture. Then see, they domesticated different animals also. Prevalence of slash and burn type cultivation. That means fell down the tree, clear the area, they cultivate the land till the fertility is lost. Okay, once the fertility is lost, shifting to other parts. So this, you know, prevalence of slash and burn type of cultivation, prevalence of this, you know, slash and burn type of cultivation, that is identified from this discovery of charcoal in most of the Neolithic sites. So they practiced shifting cultivation or this slash and burn type cultivation, that is evident from this discovery of charcoal. Then different potteries, Neolithic potteries, you know, plain painted potteries they used that reflect the artistic sense of these Neolithic people and also their utilitarian character. Then you see that the remains of food grains and animal bones certify cultivation of rye. Yeah, the remains of food grains and animal bones, you know, that is discovered. Yes, that talks about this domestication of animals and also yes, cultivation of the wide variety of crops and especially high yielding crops. Okay, high yielding crops they cultivated, which also indicate that they received a good monsoon or maybe good rainfall. Then see terracotta figurines of mother goddess and the serpent and this, you know, grave goods, etc., indicate their belief in religion, their belief in life after death. Okay, their worship of these male, female gods, etc. So this is again, you know, these are something which we, you know, make from these archaeological evidences of this like Neolithic settlement. Okay, I mean, we get informations and we can call it as a revolutionary phase because yes, many revolutionary things which happened there, and this understanding is purely from the archaeological evidences of Neolithic age. Similar way, coming to this Indus civilization, you can see that some specialities. UPSC already asked about its urbanization, its town planning, already asked its relations with other civilizations, and already they asked how it provide inputs to modern urbanization. So you can expect a lot of questions from Indus civilization, a favorite topic of UPSC. So you see some common features of this Indus urban planning or Indus civilization. See, they extensively used burned bricks for the construction of the house, drains, and the structures, etc. Burned bricks are used. Then see, burned bricks is possible when you have dense forest, when timber availability, rich monsoon availability, etc. Okay. So you see that, yeah, planned city grid pattern. So another feature is, you know, we have the smart city abhiyanans and all. So they had a planned city, you know, like grid pattern they follow, just like a chessboard. The city is aligned, the roads and streets are cutting at right angles, and cities are divided into citadels and lower towns. Citadel is, you know, that is huge dimensional buildings are in the citadel, workmen's quarters are in the lower town. Okay, and fortification of the cities. And further you can see that, yeah, there is Yeah, they used different metals: gold, silver, lead, copper, bronze, etc. It's not an Iron Age civilization, but different metals they used other than this gold. Sorry, other than this iron. Then they know bronze casting. They were advanced in metallurgy. Bronze casting, those two was technique they followed, or they were well aware about that. They had commercial contacts with the Middle East. Okay, they had commercial contacts with the Middle East. They had commercial contacts with the Mediterranean world and this, Egyptian world, etc. Lothal was one of the maritime trade station of these Indus people. Then they were advanced in agriculture, surplus production, and variety of cereals they cultivated. And again, you see that variety of crops they cultivated, and you see that yeah, wheel. They used wheel cart for transportation, and they were first producers or exporters of the cotton in the world. They say cotton trade they followed, cotton textiles they had, use of well, knowledge of seasons and calendars, uniform weights and measures used, celestial bodies they had idea about. Then arithmetics and geometry they had idea about, binary system they had idea about, decimal system, and see measurement, this use of scale of for measurement, knowledge of metallurgy, art of bead making, alchemy, chemistry, medical science. You just try to understand if the question is about how Indus people were advanced to civilized or how they are, like giving some inputs to modern urbanization, modern societal life. These are some points which you can, bring into your answer. How this legacy is continued, okay, how these features are continued to modern times. Then there is a favorite area which is, coming to this Vedic age. There is a question. The question is like the position of the women. Rig Vedic position of the women, later Vedic position of the women. In Rig Vedic position itself, we say that the Rig Veda talks about the better status of the women. But if a critical analysis is asked, you must understand, you must know to what extent this position of the women was better in Rig Vedic times. Just look into this. Rigvedic people, they worshipped goddesses. Along with the gods, they worshipped goddesses, female deities also. Then they contains hymns composed by women. There are some hymns composed by women. Then see, there are references to women sages also. Then women participated in rituals along with the husband, and women participated in the tribal assemblies. So all these are the reasons because of which we say that the women enjoyed a good position. But the reality is, you try to understand that position of the women in Rigvedic society. If you critically analyze this, you should understand that even though Rig Veda mentions about goddesses, none of them is as important as the male gods. Okay, so that's very important point. Then see, again they talk about this worship of the female deities, but you should understand that worship of the female deity, that was not important. Or there is, even these comparing with the gods, number of the female deities is very less. That is also a true replica of the real society. Women is not that much respected, even though we say that good position, it is not as equal as the male society or male members of the society. Then similar way, you can see that proportion of the hymns attributed to women in the Rig Veda, it's very much less here. Only 12 to 15 hymns are attributed to women over the 1,000 hymns. Okay, so there also you can see that it is not equivalent with that of men. Then women limited access to sacred learning, and women priests. There is no reference of women priests, and even though women participated as wives in the sacrifices, the pujas are performed by the male priest only, no female priest. Okay, then again you can see that that is, I mean, they never appear as the givers of this dakshina, dana, etc. Okay, so the position of women in Rigveda, even though it was better than that later Vedic age, but it is not as good as that of the male, and it is not, and it is not on the equal basis. Okay, that you try to understand. There is a question. Another theme is, that is again coming to these teachings of Upanishads and teachings of Buddhism or Buddha. So there are some similarities between the teachings of Buddha and this, Upanishadic principles. Same time, dissimilarities are there. Similarities and dissimilarities are there. So coming to Upanishads, you should understand that Upanishads, yes, no importance given to rituals or sacrifices or this, priesthood. No importance given to ritual sacrifices and priesthood. Similar way in Buddhism also there is no importance to that ritual sacrifices and priesthood, etc. Both these Upanishads and this Buddhism, they stress on the path of knowledge, path of knowledge leading to salvation, and also Yes, you see that they are more into that, wisdom part, practical wisdom part. Okay, not into these rituals and sacrifices, not into the complexities of the rituals and sacrifices. Yes, they are focusing on the path of knowledge and path of knowledge or wisdom that is leading to salvation. Okay, then see they are against these so-called ceremonies, rituals, etc. And again, you can see that crux of Upanishadic philosophy is non-violence. Similar way, coming to Buddhism also, they give so much importance to ahimsa or non-violence part. Okay, then see, Upanishads believed in the efficacy of path of knowledge to attain salvation. Gautam Buddha also believed in this efficacy of knowledge. So both believed this, knowledge is ultimately leading to salvation. Okay. Dissimilarities are also there. For example, Upanishads, they believe in the existence of God, they believe in the transmigration of the soul, they believe in the existence of the soul. But coming to Buddhism, they are totally silent over the existence of the God. Okay, they are silent over the transmigration of the soul. Okay, they are silent over this, permanence of the soul. Okay, then see, both believed in the idea of salvation, but the path of salvation is different. Okay, the path of salvation, yeah, which is discussed in Upanishad, and path of salvation discussed in Buddhism, they are different. And also this salvation or moksha is different, having different meanings in both Buddhism and this, Upanishads. Okay, there according to Upanishadic principles, we have seen that that salvation moksha is achievable once after the life is over or after death. But in Buddhism, they say that if you follow that Ashtangika Marga, that the salvation is possible within the current life. So that's some differences which you have to take care. Then there is a Sangam literature. Again, this is a favorite area for UPSC, a recurring theme in this art and culture part in GS1. Several times UPSC asked on this Sangam literature, or maybe how Sangam literature reflect the Sangam polity, society, culture, religion, etc. So in such answer, you should have an idea, yes, the timeline of the Sangam age, and of course, that particular classifications of the Sangam literature. What are the different Sangam literary works, you should have an idea. Like this Tolkappiyam Ettu Thogai, Pattu Pattu, Padinel Kilkanaka, and this Shilapadigaram Manimegale. These are some finest examples of the Sangam literature, Sangam poetry. Okay. Now the important thing is UPSC can ask a question: how this Sangam literature reflect the society of ancient times or ancient South India, or the society or the religion or the culture, or this, what is called the position of the women of this South India. So how Sangha literature reflect position of the women, religion or culture or economy, or maybe the political situations of ancient India, ancient South India. Okay. So have an idea how this Sangha literature talk about this, is society and religion. Yes, they say it consists of society mainly consists of agriculturists, then landless labor classes, carpenters, goldsmiths, hunters, fishermen existed. People mostly lived in the villages, and town people were generally rich. Then they say divisions of the social divisions are there, class occupational divisions are there. Kurinchi, you see that yes, there's like a division where the people's chief deity is Murugan, and occupation is hunting and this honey collection. They are mainly forest dwellers. Then there is Mullai. Mullai, that section of the society, their deity is Mayan, Vishnu, and occupation is cattle rearing, and they are dealing with these dairy products. Madhudam, chief deity is Indra, their main occupation is agriculture. Naidal, chief deity is Varuna, and occupation is fishing and salt manufacturing. Then Pale, their chief deity is Koravai, and occupation is robbery. So Kurinji, they are forest dwellers. Mullahs, they are like mostly this, they are associated with the pastoralism or pastoral economy, and that is Mullai. And Madhudam is, agriculturist. And Naidal, they are coastal people, and Pale is desert people. Okay, and says that the comparing with North India, the status of the women in the South society, Sangam society, it is fairly better. Okay, at least she had this, economic independency. Okay, of at least of the lower women. Then polygamy was practiced. Prostitutes, dancing girls lived in towns. Dhoti and turban were chief attire. Women were fond of ornaments. Some status of the women. Then see their chief main diet, that it consists of meat and rice. Brahminism, it was so popular in Sangam, Cholachara, Pandya kingdoms. And you see that Shiva, Vishnu, Balram, Krishna, gods worshipped, and Shaivism, Vaishnavism, popular religions in the Sangam age. Okay. Similar way, moving on to this Gandhara, Madura, Amaravati schools of sculpture, Post-Mauryan schools of sculpture. Already they asked on Gandhara. Okay, so you can definitely expect the questions on this Gandhara, Madura, Amaravati schools of sculpture. Similar way, there is, cultural developments, or even though post-Mauryan age is regarded as dark age, there is a question that even though it is regarded as a dark age, that was not the case with this culture, religion, art, architecture, etc. So, what was the status of the culture or maybe art forms or architecture during post-Mauryan age? You can expect a question like this. Okay. The another favorite area is coming to this Bhakti Sufi movements of this medieval India. There are lots of questions, and still you can expect a question. The reason for the success and failures of these Bhakti Sufi traditions, or maybe how they resulted in a cultural awakening in this medieval India. What are their contributions? What are their teachings? What are the similarities in the teachings of these, Bhakti Sufi saints? This way they can ask the questions, or how they resulted in this, a cultural change in the medieval times, or what are the lessons they taught. So, and also there are some popular bhakti saints, Ramanuja, Adi Shankaracharya, Bhattu Tukram in Maharashtra. He belongs to a Shudra caste. Then there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bengali, Mirabai, Rajasthan, okay, and this Kabir Guru Nanak, North India. So you see that there are lots of bhakti saints, and they all focused on this, social reformism and religious reformism. Their messages, teachings, and their popular works are very important for you. Have an idea how they contributed to a cultural synthesis, or how they contributed to cultural awakening or social reformism, etc. Focus. Also find to try to understand what are their limitations, why they were not that much successful. One reason is all these Bhakti Sufi saints, their reach was regional. It was not a pan-India level. They used the local vernacular languages and literature for the promotion of their ideas. And major segment of the society was illiterate. They don't know read and write, and that is also a reason for the limited success. Then lack of this royal patronage, that is another reason. Then attack by this orthodox section, that is another reason. So just to try to understand the Bhakti Sufi saints, their contributions, and how they were instrumental in this socio-cultural awakening in the medieval India. What are the limitations? Okay, that you try to cover. Technological developments of this, medieval times, especially of the Delhi Sultanate, of this Mughal Empire, of Vijayanagara Empire. What are these, technological science and technological developments of this medieval India, which you have to cover very well. And this series will continue. If you wish to continue, you just message me in the comment box. If you wish this series to be continued. Okay, so we will be doing this series for the recurring themes in all papers. Okay, that will definitely help you in your final mains exam, because at least if we cover 100 topics from this art and culture part, at least you see whatever the questions asked, definitely you can answer it decently. Okay, that way we will be doing for other subjects also. Stay tuned, subscribe the channel, and just share with your friends preparing for UPSC examination. Definitely this series by me and others will definitely support you, will help you. Thank you so much.